Ano comment?
Good afternoon po. Good afternoon everyone. Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd Barangay Kayawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. Today is June 24, 2026. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract 25FL 0137, construction of school health facilities, Calintaan Integrated School, Matnog, Sorsogon, Barangay Calintaan, Matnog, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference are the following: Juana Sicalagos, Back Chairman.
Present.
Levedi Pura Jr., Back Vice Chairman.
Present.
Lay Fontanares, Back Member.
Present.
Yours truly po, David Pianuyan, TWGL. Glenn Elinisio, Back Secretariat. Jensalu Aranca, Back Member. Cecily Dulusin, Back Member.
Present.
Madam Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na po tayong quorum and wala pong present na contractors here today.
Okay, since we have a quorum, this pre-bid conference is now called to order. The agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows. First, basic contract data, requirements and bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for the eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, questions, comments from bidders, and replies of BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity. Summary of proceedings, including bid bulletins to be issued, common reasons for bidders' disqualifications, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Genevieve Galera.
Basic contract data, contract ID 25FL0137, contract name, construction of school health facilities, Calintaan Integrated School, Matnog, Sorsogon, contract location, Barangay Calintaan, Matnog, Sorsogon, approved budget for the contract ABC 4,452,916.75. For brief description, construction of one-story health facility at Calintaan Integrated School with provision of PWD ramp, comfort room, and air conditioning units. Contract duration, 83 calendar days. Predetermined, 14 calendar days. Source of fund, FY 2025 General Appropriations Act GAA under the Basic Education Facilities Fund, DPWH. Major category of work, PICWOPFC, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise fronting frame, 1 to 5 stories. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000. Date of receipt of bids, May 25, 2026 until 10 a.m. Date of opening of bids, May 25, 2026 at 10 a.m. Scope of works, construction of one-story health facility at Calintaan Integrated School with provision of PWD ramp, comfort room, and air conditioning units. So this is the vicinity map and site development plan. Created photos of the site, perspective, detailed architectural and engineering design plan, environmental clearance, special conditions of contract, bill of quantities, minimum work experience requirement for key personnel, minimum major equipment requirement,
Minimum equipment requirement: dump truck 2 units, 1 bagger mixer 1 unit, welding machine 1 unit. Key points po: the lowest calculated responsive bid will be used as the criteria for award. The amount of advance payment is 15% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall be first be charged against the advance payment until the latter has been fully exhausted at the option of the procurement. The contractor shall submit the program of work to the procuring entity within 10 days of the delivery from the notice of award. The amount to be withheld for the late submission and updated program of work is 63,282 pesos only. Submission and receipt of bids. We follow the two-envelope system, where the first envelope contains eligibility and technical requirements, and the second envelope contains the financial proposals. Our availability po is 120 calendar days. Sealing and markings of bid, ganyan po for original bid. Original technical, original financial, enclosed in a single envelope, marked original bid. Each envelope should contain the name of the contractor bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient, bank, procuring entity, and the markings not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Ganun din po sa ating copy 1, yan pong original bid, and copy 1 shall be then enclosed in a single envelope. Mark, each envelope shall be marked containing the name of the address of the contractor bid, name, the address of the bidder, recipient, bank, procuring entity, and the markings not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Unsealed and unmarked bid shall not be accepted. Not compressed and password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked bid shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted. Submission and receipt of bid. For bid modification, bid modifications must be submitted before the deadline of submission of bids. Bidder shall not be allowed to retain its original bid. However, it shall submit a new bid, equally sealed, properly identified, and linked to its original bid, and marked as a modification. For letter of withdrawals, it must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic bid submission, bidder shall send another bid, equally secured, properly identified and labeled, and marked as a modification of the one previously submitted. The time indicated and the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission. Meron po tayong 2 modes of submission of bid. For the first, the bidder po may only 1 mode lang po sa pag-submit ng bid. For manual submission of bid, yan po ay sa Box Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon, 2nd BDO, Barangay Payawin, Gubat, Sorsogon. For electronic submission of bids, yan naman po sa electronic bids _Sorsogon 2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Eligibility criteria. The following persons or entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding of infrastructure projects: duly licensed Filipino citizen or sole proprietorship, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines are persons, entities, forming themselves into a joint venture as per section 52.4.2.1 of the RA 12009. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided for under any treaty or international or executive agreement as provided in Section 4 of RA 12009. Bidders must have a valid pickup license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract with at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by the owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system. Contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience, provided that the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Contractors, applicants who wish to participate in this bidding must be in the document request list, DRL, of the PhilJEP's website and secure a printout copy showing that they are included in the list and are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH Civil Works application, CWA, at the DPWH Procurement Services, 5th floor, DPWH Building, Bonifacio Drive, Port Area, Manila. While those who have already enrolled in the CWA must keep their records current and updated. Contractors' eligibility to bid on the project will be determined using the DPWH Contractor Profile Eligibility Process, CPEP, and subject for further post-qualification. We encourage our bidders to enroll in the CWA to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. If they are already enrolled in the CWA, These are the documents they have to submit. PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture wako, statement of its all ongoing government and private contracts, statement of bidder's single largest completed contract, computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. If not yet po registered, ito naman po kailangan submit. PCAB certificate of registration, PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, statement of bidder's single largest completed contract, computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Mandatory requirements, documents comprising the bid, technical components, bid security in the form of cash or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, 2% of the ABC. Surety bond, callable upon demand, 5% of the ABC. Or you can submit po yung bid securing declaration. Please be guided po ng ating RA 12009 sa panibagong format po ng ating bid securing declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units owned or leased on or under purchase agreement. Latest General Information Sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission. For corporations lang po ito. ISO 9001-2015 certification for its latest version as applicable as per Department Order 110 Series of 2024. Omnibus Sworn Statement, duly notarized. Please be guided po ng ating RA 12009 sa panibagong form po natin ng Omnibus Sworn Statement. Any omission of the clauses of the Omnibus Sworn Statement shall be grounds for disqualification po. For tax clearance, submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of a valid tax clearance. Submission of a provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance. Statement of the bidder of all ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity of the contract you bid. The statement shall include all information required in the bidding documents. Dapat po, hindi po tayo mag-leave ng blanks sa ating form ng statement of all ongoing. Bidders are reminded po to truthfully declare po yung kanilang ongoing. Okay. Yan po ang sample ng ating bid securing declaration and omnibus sworn statement. Sa financial envelope naman po, second envelope, ang laman naman po niya ay bid form, summary bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. Yan po ang ating sample and checklist. For detailed evaluation of bid, the purpose po niyan is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids. Ranking calculated bid prices from lowest to highest. Ang method is a non-discretionary criterion which shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. In case of discrepancies between bid price in figures versus bid price in words, bid price in words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. Stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items. The actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. Unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders po sa ating bidders, mga bidders of the no contact rule, prohibition of communication with bidders from bid evaluation until the award of contract. For post-qualification, ang purpose po yun is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions specified in the bidding documents to be declared as the lowest calculated and responsive bid. Ang method po natin is a non-discretionary pass or fail criteria which shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. For first qualification po, if the proposed key personnel, in compliance po ito ng DO9 Series 2012, if a proposed key personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that 1. The person The person will be pulled out from the ongoing contract once the bidder is awarded the contract. And 2, he/she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualification as certified by the head of the procuring entity. Also to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Common reasons for bidders' disqualification. Letter A, late submission of bids. Submission of patently insufficient bid. Under submission of patently insufficient bid, submission of expired PhilJAC certificate of registration. Failure to include a certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae. Failure to submit the required bid form. Kung minsan po yung lumang po ang nagagamit. Submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to the non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statements of the required bid forms. Submission of valid bid form, bid securing declaration, omnibus sworn statement, joint venture agreement without the legal name, capacity, and signature of the bidder or its duly authorized representative. Nomination of a key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit the required certification of key personnel as per Department Order Number 9, Series 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Insufficient NFCC, insufficient SLCC. Iyon lang po.
May mga additional clarifications pa? Wala na. So, since we have no more matters to discuss,